Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Monday afternoon coverage of Audubon Green Wave Baseball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Today we have a Colonial Conference matchup between the Audubon Green Wave and the Gloucester City Lions. It'll be a good one today. Gloucester came into this month of May far exceeding expectations for what many thought was going to be a rather pedestrian season. But a 9-7 record for Greg Galbraith's Lions have really put them on the map and even got them an invitation to, that was Collingswood who got the Diamond Classic invite, but my apologies. Blue and yellow really run commonly in New Jersey high schools. Regardless, though, Gloucester has taken a giant step forward in terms of their baseball program, and we saw that when they won the Joe Lang Classic as part of a DWB showcase back in the weekend of April 22nd. So, let's go over starting lineups and previews for today's game for the 13-4 Audubon Green Wave. On the road today, a busy week for Audubon as they play Gloucester today, Paulsboro tomorrow in Paulsboro, Haddonfield at home on Thursday, and then Shawnee, one of the top teams in the state, on Saturday at 10 a.m. First, starting for Rich Horan's Audubon Green Wave will be Tyler Wiltsey at shortstop, batting leadoff. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher, batting second. Scott Lynch, who hit 2 home runs here in the same inning last year, he is the starting pitcher, batting third. Charlie Grady is the cleanup man, batting fourth and in left field. Trent Bennell is in right field, batting fifth. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman, batting sixth. Joey Slavin will play at first base until Scott is done pitching. Afterwards, he will move to the DH spot. He bats seventh. Nick Caladros is at the hot corner at third base. He bats eighth. And Charlie Copsetta, recovering from that strained quad injury, he is out in center field. For Greg Galbraith's Gloucester City Lions, it's Jake Siebert, the starting shortstop, batting leadoff. Chris Ruggieri is the starting pitcher for the Lions, batting second. Russell Medler is the DH, batting third. Gavin Wiener is the second baseman, batting cleanup. Seth McCormick is the first baseman, batting fifth. Cody Gardzalik is the center fielder, batting sixth. John Daly is the catcher, batting seventh. Aiden Daly is the third baseman, batting eighth. And Gage Myers is the right fielder, batting ninth. Mason Jankowski will be in left field but will not bat today. Audubon is just wrapping up their warm-ups, and it's going to be a good one to hear today between a clash between two of the top talents in the Colonial Conference in different sides of the division. Audubon is currently tied for first in the Liberty Division with Haddon Heights. Audubon sporting a 13-4 record after being tossed out of the Diamond Classic on Saturday in a 5-0 one-hit shutout loss to the Buna Chiefs. So it's going to be a fun one. Gloucester Audubon 13-4. We'll direct our attention to the home plate as Audubon is just wrapping up their warm-ups this afternoon for a fun matchup here in the Colonial Conference. From everybody here at our DWB crew, my graphics crew Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer Donna Wilkins, and myself Dan Wilkins, enjoy the ball game. We'll go to a quick break and we'll be right back when the teams take the field. Here from Jim Kelly Field in beautiful Gloucester City, we have ourselves Monday afternoon baseball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting between the Audubon Green Wave and the Gloucester City Lions. Coaches, captains, and umpires meeting at home plate. It's going to be a fun one here. As we said, Gloucester going into this one 9-7 with a nice record going into one of the final weeks of the season. The regular season for New Jersey baseball officially ends on May 19th. And we're only just a couple of weeks away, as we are on May 8th, only 11 days away from the end of the regular season. It really feels like it's been creeping up on us. This baseball season has been going much faster than I can really ever imagine it going from previous years. But man, I don't want it to end. I don't want the baseball season to end. But busy week for us here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Tomorrow will be Audubon and Paulsboro in Paulsboro. Wednesday will be a feature game between the Maple Shade Wildcats and the Pittman Panthers at 4 o'clock from Alcyon Park. Thursday will be Audubon and Haddonfield at Hank Greenberg Field, a home game for the Green Wave. And then Friday, we just picked Field in Cherry Hill for our first feature game for Dan McMaster and the Lions. And then on Saturday, it's going to be Audubon and Shawnee, the Renegades, at 10 a.m. in Medford. So that'll be a fun one as well between two of the powerhouses at very different groups in terms of South Jersey baseball. Rich Horan and Greg Galbraith, coaches and catchers, and rather captains and umpires, shaking hands, and we are going to have ourselves some very good baseball coming up very shortly. One more time, let's go over starting lineup, starting with the Audubon Green Wave, as coached by Rich Horan. It'll be Tyler Wiltsey at shortstop batting leadoff. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher batting second. Scott Lynch is on the hill batting third. Charlie Grady is the left fielder batting cleanup. Trent Bantle is the right fielder batting fifth. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman batting sixth. Joey Slavin is the first baseman batting seventh. He will move over to the DH slot when Scott Lynch is done pitching. And then Nick Caladros will be at third base batting eighth, and Charlie Copsetta in center field batting ninth. For the Gloucester City Lions, it's going to be Jake Siebert batting leadoff at the shortstop position. Chris Ruggieri is the pitcher batting second. Russell Medler is the DH batting third. Gavin Wiener is the second baseman batting fourth. Seth McCormick is the first baseman batting fifth. Cody Gardzalik is the center fielder batting sixth. John Daly is the catcher batting seventh. Aiden Daly is the third baseman batting eighth. And Gage Myers is the right fielder batting ninth. Mason Jankowski will be in left field but will not bat this afternoon. And as you can see on your screen, there's Gloucester's starter this afternoon, Chris Ruggieri, with a bit of a three-quarters delivery. The 5'10" senior right-hander sports a 4.92 ERA in his senior campaign, although in his 2021 sophomore year he had a 1.63 ERA, and in his 2022 junior campaign it was a 2.46 ERA. So this seems like more of an anomaly than the norm. This is going to be his seventh appearance this year, throwing 5 1/3 versus Haddon Township and 6 innings and a 4-3 win over West Deptford. So we'll see how Ruggieri can do versus Audubon's first three, Wiltsey, Zimmer, and Lynch, getting it started for the Green Wave here at Jim Kelly Field in Gloucester. Outfielders getting the ball into the dugouts and out of the playing field as we are about to get started in a colonial clash between the Green Wave and the Lions. Again, you're watching coverage of Audubon Green Wave baseball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. Tyler Wiltsey leading off the ball game for the Green Wave as the Green and Gold look to avenge their losses after falling 5-0 to Buna on Saturday in the first round of the Diamond Classic. And the first pitch of the ball game is down and away, 1-0, and we are underway in Gloucester. 1-0 from Ruggieri is a line shot into center field on a base hit. What a way to start it off. Tyler Wiltsey with a leadoff single, no doubt about it, and this is going to bring up Ryan Zimmer. Couldn't have attacked that one any better. Got a fastball right in the middle of the zone and almost hit it on a dime right over the middle of second base. And that puts a runner on first for the Green Wave to start this one. Zimmer up second for Audubon, and he shoots one in the right. That's going to be a base hit. Wiltsey is rounding second, getting to third uncontested, and a single by Zimmer puts runners on the corners in just 3 pitches. So a hot start for the Green Wave, bringing up Scott Lynch, who, if you rewind the tape to last year, hit 2 home runs in the same inning in Audubon's 13-2 win over Gloucester last year. That was really something special. I mean, Scott Lynch led the team with 5 homers last year, had 2 of them versus Gloucester, 1 versus West Deptford, 1 versus Heights in the game that won them the Colonial Conference. Was really a special time for Audubon, and they were hitting a lot of homers, hitting a lot of balls out of the yard. But here's one thing that's interesting about this year's Audubon's club versus last year's. Last year, Audubon had 14 home runs as a team, which placed them second in the rankings, tied with Paulsboro and falling first to West Deptford, who had 19 home runs as a ball club. This year, through the month of April and into the first week of May, Audubon only has 1 home run, and that was from Tyler Wiltsey, who hit it out in the bottom of the 6th inning versus Cinnaminson in the opening round of the Ralph Shaw Classic. So, the throwback to first didn't get him. But, I mean, you just consider that Audubon's been getting the ball in the air more, but not for home runs, more for sacrifice flies, more for singles, doubles, anything to get them a run. And they've realized that they don't need to hit 400-foot home runs to be successful. They just need to hit the ball in play. That one skips away from the catcher John Daly, and that's going to make the count 2-2 to Lynch, the number 3 hitter for the Green Wave early on this afternoon. Green Wave already have runners on the corners here to start the first. Going down to second is Zimmer. Throw down is in plenty of time, and they threw over to third to make sure that he was in there, so everybody is safe. The throw was in time, but they didn't apply the tag. They decided to throw to third instead, so I guess they thought Wiltsey was going to break for home. Runners are on second and third now with a 2-2 count. And the pitch is a line drive into left field, and that's going to be an RBI single for Lynch. Going over is Jankowski. Here comes Zimmer to the plate, and the throw is not in time. 2-0 Green Wave, just like that. 2-run single, Scott Lynch, and Ruggieri already in the hot seat with 3 hits allowed in as many batters. And this brings up Charlie Grady. So Grady bats here with a runner on first and nobody out. Green Wave already up by 2 here early in the first. First pitch to the senior Grady. Outside on a breaking ball, 1-0. Going down to second base is Lynch, and he gets in there uncontested. 2-0 to Grady. That one misses. Got a piece of the dirt, 3-0. After this would be the right fielder, Trent Bennell. Trying to avoid a walk, and that's exactly what he will do. Grady gets a free pass, and that occupies first base now for Trent Bennell. right fielder this afternoon. Audubon up by 2. Still, Ruggieri has not recorded an out in this one, as there's the first pitch called strike, 0-1. Another breaking ball that catches the zone, 0-2 very quickly. There's a fly ball out towards center. That's going to drop. And they threw it over to second to try to get the unusual 8-4 fielder's choice, but this loads the bases for Jack Dempsey. So no more room at the end after a bloop single by Bennell down in the count. And he is able to rebound here as the infield will meet with Ruggieri, and I believe there will be a coach to come out to talk to his man, go over some strategy. Honestly, from what I've heard from many pitchers, catchers, and infielders, is that in a time like this, with Audubon up by 2 and no outs recorded in this part of the game, usually the situation actually really isn't going over strategy as much as it is trying to calm the pitcher's nerves, trying to make sure that he's not overwhelmed with emotion and maybe frustration or fear or, you know, anger or anything like that, that he's not getting the outs. So it's less of what pitch you have to throw. Oh, that ball just got away, and that's going to give Audubon a free run. A wild pitch that took an unusual carom off the chain link fence backstop gives Audubon their 3rd run of the inning. 3-zip. So that moves everybody up 90 feet. Bannell is on second. Charlie Grady moves up to 3rd. And the pinch runner for Lynch scored on that play. Again, still no outs recorded. Up and in to Dempsey, and it's 2-0. Fouled back, and it is 2-1. I think one thing that you got to remember is that with how Gloucester's team is set up and with how Audubon's team is set up as well, this Green Wave team is looking so much different than they did on Saturday. They're looking a lot smoother, a lot more sound. But you also have to remember that on Saturday, Audubon was tasked against trying to hit off of a 20-year-old, a 5th-year player, because of the COVID rule. That was a 20-year-old pitcher from Buna that is committed to a university.
Are you here? I didn't know that.
Well, that's what I was told before the game, but I forgot to mention it on the broadcast. Greg Galbraith coming out here to meet with his man Ruggieri in the middle of the at-bat to give some wisdom and guidance here with a 2-1 count. And runners on second and third for the Green Wave, already up by 3 here in the first. Trying to make an early impact. Sixth man of the inning up for the Green Wave, and as we said, no outs recorded. So Ruggieri breaks with the meeting and will now go back to battling Dempsey with a 2-1 count. Two-one. Okay, scoreboard was wrong. That's ball 4. Unless that was a 3-ball walk, but I don't think that was the case. Might have just been me relying too much on the scoreboard. So the bases are loaded, and this brings up Joey Slavin. No outs. And Ruggieri with a very tough task. Defending the bases loaded, already down by 3. Gloucester will need some good offense from their first 3, Siebert, Ruggieri, and Medler, in the bottom of the first to avenge that. Breaking ball misses downstairs, 1-1.
Sounds of the ball.
The crying baby, the unruly fan.
We had horses last broadcast. You
Yes.
never know what you're going to get.
Yes, we had, when we were in Buna, if you didn't get a chance to watch the game, that's a strike, 1 and 2. When we were in Buna, there was a horse, I don't know what you want to call it, horse yard, horse? Pasture, that's what it was. I was about to say a horse ministry, but that wasn't right. Lofted out to left, that's a base hit. Joey Slavin is going to get a run home here. That one rolls to the wall, picked up by Jankowski. 1 run is in, and that's going to be a 2-run double for Joey Slavin. And the lead has now been extended to 5. So Slavin rips one into the corner, and this already puts Audubon with a thick cushion here with nobody out. Somebody, I think, might be getting warm in the Gloucester bullpen. That would be number 21, Kevin Wall, senior. Here's Nick Caladros, 8th man of the inning, no outs. First pitch misses, 1-0. No outs, runners on second and third. That catches some white chalk. It's 2-0. That's downstairs, 3-0. On deck would be Charlie Copsetta. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Green Wave. A single by Wiltsey, Zimmer, Lynch, Bantle, and Slavin. That one's fouled back, 2-2. Although that hit by Slavin was a double. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up in on the hands, and it's foul. Two again. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and Caladros is down on strikes. Maybe a little bit of a generous call, but considering that Audubon has scored 5 runs unabridged and uninterrupted, I think that it's time to get the pace moving a little bit here. Here's Charlie Copsetta, bringing up the caboose for the Green Wave this afternoon in the number 9 spot. He bats here with 1 away in the top of the first. First pitch is high and away, 1-0. That's the first strikeout for Ruggieri. Outside, 2-0. Twelfth strikeout on the season for the senior Ruggieri. And that is outside. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It is 2 balls, 2 strikes, as you can see with the home plate umpire. a good thing from the angle that we're at. We're basically hovering right over center field, so you can see the umpire a lot more clearly. 2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball out to second, picked up by Wiener. He's going to throw it to first. And he's going to get the out, but the throw down to second base is going to be in time. And Ryan Knoll kind of ratting out Joey there for not getting back to the bag in time. So a 4-3-6 double play. You don't see that one every day, but it stops the Green Wave in the tracks, but not before they pull into the station with 5 runs on 5 hits. We go to the bottom of the first. Gloucester gets their first chance. 5-0 Green Wave. Here in the bottom of the first, Green Wave put up a solid 5 runs in 9 batters, but the inning came to a screeching halt thanks to a 4-6-3 double play induced by Charlie Copsetta. And Scott Lynch is going to get the start on the bump this afternoon, facing Gloucester, as the starting lineup for Gloucester goes as follows. Jake Siebert is the leadoff man at the shortstop. Chris Ruggieri is the pitcher batting second. Russell Medler is the DH batting third. Gavin Wiener is the second baseman batting cleanup. Seth McCormick is the first baseman batting fifth, as that one is inside, 1-0. Cody Gardzalik is the center fielder batting sixth. John Daly is the catcher batting seventh. Aiden Daly is the third baseman batting eighth. And Gage Myers is the right fielder batting ninth. Mason Jankowski in left, not batting. 1-1. One, two. Siebert, the 5'10" junior, batting .250 in 2023. 13 for 52. 10 singles, 3 doubles, 13 walks. Had a 3-hit performance versus Haddon Township in a 3-2 loss, and a ground ball out to third, picked up Caladros. Throw across the diamond is in time, and Siebert is retired, 1 away. So Lynch induces a 5-3 ground out, and this brings up Chris Ruggieri. That is inside, 1-0. Gloucester opened their season with a 20-0 win over Camden Academy Charter, lost to Gateway, but then won their hometown Jim Kelly tournament, which I was supposed to cover, and then Audubon scheduled a game versus Paul Sixth, so I had to drop that obligation. But they beat Salem and Maple Shade to get there, and that was during a 5-game winning streak, as here's a pop-up to Slavin. He makes the catch, 2 down. So 2 balls hit in play, and 2 batters quickly retired. This brings up Russell Medler. who was a key force in the Joe Lang tournament, which Gloucester had won over the hometown Pittman Panthers. They beat Glassboro and Pittman to gain that title as they won their hometown Jim Kelly tournament and then won the Joe Lang tournament down at Alcyon Park as well, but it's 1-0 to Midler. After this would be Gavin Wiener, the second baseman, if the inning continues. That one is a strike called very audibly at home plate, and it's 1-1. Gloucester is currently riding a 3-game losing streak. Their last win was on April 27th versus West Deptford in a 4-3 win, but a 2-0 loss to Haddonfield, a 6-3 loss to the Pennsville Eagles, and a 2-1 close loss versus Paulsboro. Put them where they stand right now at 9-7. This one's a fly ball out to straightaway center. Copsetta took a step back, but now runs in and makes the catch. Sans Hat, that one's out there in center field, and his teammate's going to go grab it for him. We go to the top of the second. It is 5-0 Green Wave as Charlie Copsetta gets a seed delivery. He makes another out to end the inning, and this time he caught the seeds. We go to the second, 5-0 Green Wave. New pitcher in the top of the second for the Gloucester City Lions. Sophomore Gavin Zane will take the hill after one inning by Chris Ruggieri allowed 5 runs on 5 hits and 9 batters for the Green Wave. Zane coming into this one with a 3.57 ERA in 15 2/3 innings. 8 earned runs, 8 walks, 21 strikeouts. This is his 7th appearance of 2023, and Tyler Wiltsey will lead off for the second time in as many innings after Gloucester ended the first on a rather unusual double play, but it counts the same. And Gavin Zane will look to eat some innings and avoid any more damage to Gloucester's repertoire this afternoon. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. By the way, that was a Paroli's Printing pitching change. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Paroli's Printing and Bantle's Banners, Signs, and Apparel, the true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs with a 5-star Google rating. There's a foul ball. Over 50 years in business, handling any ink on paper project, as well as banners, signs, apparel, and promotional swag. One ball, one strike to the leadoff man, Tyler Wiltsey, who ripped a single back up the middle to start the first. Breaking ball, and Wiltsey fans at it. Didn't really hit that one with an oar. It's 1-2.
You chased that one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hit them all. I know that Wiltsey is rebounding a little bit after having 3 errors on Saturday in the field and an 0-for at the plate versus Buna, but on the offensive side of things, there really wasn't a whole lot he could do about that, as he's going to be safe at first. A lackadaisical effort in the infield allows Tyler Wiltsey to get a single. So, runner on first now with nobody out, as Zimmer will look to pick up where Wiltsey left off here in the second. Strike one. Throw over. Nothing going on there. By the way, for longtime viewers of this YouTube channel, we recently surpassed 400,000 views as a conglomerate of all of our videos, our live streams, our baseball content. Here comes the throw down a second. That's going to be airmailed into almost in the center field, but it's stopped by Gavin Wiener at second base, and Wiltsey swipes second with ease. But yeah, we had a couple of videos that one would say went quote unquote viral, but that's in a very stretching sense of the word. But across all of our broadcasts and our creative content, we surpassed in the last couple of weeks 400,000 views. So thank you all very much for the support, and we hope to bring you quality coverage of South Jersey baseball for years to come. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ryan Zimmer here in the second inning as the Green Wave look to drive in another with Tyler Wiltsey in scoring position now. A 2-for-2 game with 2 singles for the sophomore shortstop. He stands on second, and the pitch lofted out towards right, and it is foul. There's a fan in a lawn chair out there, almost landed right to him. Really a perfect bounce. Can't get much better than that. And the pitch. That one is hit well. That was actually a country mile in the sky. Couldn't really get a great read on it, but Ruggieri, who's now at third, makes the catch. 1 down. So Zimmer pops out to third, and this brings up Scott Lynch. Hard to tell sometimes when a baseball's hit almost straight up. You can't tell the exit velocity and the launch angle, whether it's coming straight at you or if it's straight up in the air and really not going anywhere. And in that case, it was the latter. So Scott Lynch singled and drove in 2 runs his first time. First pitch, excuse me. That one's downstairs, 1-0. Allergies really hurting people this afternoon.
Well, we are sitting under a tree.
We are sitting under a tree in the middle of May, yes. It's that time of year. Lynch pops it up, and it's going to be caught right at the mound. No, I think it was dropped. I couldn't get a good read on that because I thought it went out of play, but that was interesting. So it looks like the pitcher made an attempt to catch the ball and then dropped it, and because that was in fair play, then that's going to put runners on the corners here. Excuse me, runners on first and second. My apologies. And this brings up Charlie Grady after the E1. Wiltsey did not advance on that play. It is outside to Charlie. 1-0. Green Wave with 3 road games in a row as they faced Buna on Saturday, lost 5-0. They play Gloucester right now, and then Paulsboro tomorrow. Same time, different place. It's a pop-up foul again. Off towards the warehouse, and it is 1-1. And also, for those that are watching the broadcast and not just listening, we are experiencing some hiccups due to, I think, some bad cell service in the area or something wrong with our Wi-Fi equipment. So, just so that you know, it's we usually have it in Haddonfield and like Lindenwold and that kind of places, but we didn't have it here last year. We didn't have those same issues. So, we are trying to figure out what the cause could be, and we're going to try to fix it for tomorrow in Paulsboro. 2 balls, 1 strike. Charlie Grady. Audubon in a prime position to score again after they put up 5 in the first. Gavin Zane, oh, that's going to be a throwback to second base. That almost looked like a balk, but balk rules are so ambiguous that I never concretely say, oh, that's a balk, unless it was called by the umpire. I usually trust their judgment better than I trust mine in terms of those complicated rule situations and everything like that. But there's a strike, 2-2. Gavin Zane could induce a double play here and get Audubon, or get Gloucester out of the jam, send Audubon back into the field here. And the 2-2. Zane set and kicks. Not yet. There we go. Kicks and deals. Outside. 3-2. Beautiful day here in Gloucester this afternoon, right under the tree in beautiful shade. We don't even need the tent. A mix of blue and gray in the sky, some scattered clouds, 77 degrees with wind blowing northwest at 10 miles an hour. Low humidity, so northwest at 10 miles an hour would mean that it's blowing out to left center field at 10 miles per hour, for some context. 3-2, and that is a walk. Charlie Grady with a free pass, and that will load the bases. So no more room at the end for Audubon as they continue to produce base runners here. And this brings up Trent Bannell with 1 away in the top of the second. Audubon up by 5. Charlie Grady on first, Scott Lynch on second, and Tyler Wiltsey on third base here in the second. Grounded out to third. Ruggieri picks it up. Throw to the plate is going to be in time. So everybody moves up 90 feet, and Audubon is taken away from a run as the force out at home keeps the bases loaded, but Audubon does not score. So 2 down. This brings up Jack Dempsey. See, people don't think of it as smart baseball, but truly it is smart baseball. I know there's at least some teams out there that would try to gamble a little bit and get a double play out of it, 5-4-3 around the horn, but the smartest play there is to cut your losses and get the easiest out possible, and that easiest out was at home plate. So Ruggieri 100% made the right call there. Wild pitch goes back to the backstop, but nobody advances. It's 1-0. Dempsey, the 6th batter of the inning. Audubon is already 1.5 times around the order here in the top of the second. Dempsey off the hands and into right, a base hit. Scoring is going to be the pinch runner for Lynch, and an RBI single by Dempsey pushes the token even further. It's 6-0. So Stockland scores from third, and the bases still remain loaded as Joey Slavin now with a shot here to push the envelope even further. First pitch. Breaking ball misses, 1-0. Ruggieri had 1 strikeout in his single inning of work. Gavin Zane, as we said, had a fair number of strikeouts in his campaign this year, 21 all told. That one skips away, but everybody holds. 2-0. Really nowhere to run. I mean, the only runner that really can move here to kind of start the ball rolling would be Charlie at third, but can't really do a whole lot about that. Because if Dempsey wanted to go, then everybody else in front of him would have to go, and that would just make a no-win situation for anybody. But infield will meet with Gavin Zane as this game continues to unravel pitch by pitch. What I don't like about South Jersey baseball is that there's just some teams who have it and some teams that don't. And I feel like there should be more level playing field, and I don't know how you would ever possibly achieve that, but it's just one of those things about high schools. Some teams have terrific programs, and some schools don't want to spend the money to make their resources for other programs good. I saw this thing about LSU football the other day, and I did always wonder why there were some colleges that said, well, we offer football to pay for our other programs. And there was this chart that showed that LSU made $56 million in profit off of football in, I think, the past year. While all of their other sports, besides baseball and one other sport, which I can't remember which one it was, might have been basketball, it was the only 3 sports that LSU offered that were in the green. Every other sport, lacrosse, soccer, field hockey, track and field, swimming, cheerleading, whatever it is, all of those other sports for LSU were in the red. So you think about how much of a moneymaker high school football and college football is. It's almost some of the reason why stuff like this gets paid for. Joey Slavin takes one right down the middle for strike 3, and the side is retired. Audubon puts up one more and collects 2 more hits on the scoreboard. We go to the bottom of the second, 6-0 Green Wave. Bottom of the second inning, Green Wave plate another on the scoreboard as Gavin Weiner will be the first to hit for the Gloucester City Lions here in the bottom of the second. First pitch from Lynch is downstairs, 1-0. That one misses, 2-0. And the pitch to Weiner. And it is going to be 3 balls, 1 strike. So free pass to Gavin Weiner. Brings up Seth McCormick. First base runner for the Lions this afternoon. One-oh. And it's 1-1. Runner on first for the Lions after a leadoff walk by Gavin Weiner. And there's one right down Broadway, 1-2. Another one that misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's strike 3. So, first strikeout for Lynch. And McCormick is the first victim. This brings up Cody Gardzilla. Strike 1. Hefty hack, and it's 0-2. Throw back to first, nothing going on there, and another strikeout. This brings up John Daly.
If I go through, you're going to land. I know. That's all right. I wouldn't expect anything else. If you didn't laugh, I'd feel out. There you go. You got a deal. I might fall.
0-1 pitch is downstairs. One to Daly. It's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Is that the helicopter right there?
I tell you this every time I'm with you. I'm going to start writing this down. Yeah, I'm ready. What college? That was a grammar school.
1-2. That's right down the middle. He threw down to second, but it didn't matter. He tried throwing him out at second base, but it was strike 3 called anyway. Lynch allows a leadoff walk, but strikes out the next 3 in succession. We go to the third, 6-0 Green Wave. Top of the third inning, leading off is going to be Nick Caladros. After 7 men came to the plate, 1 scored for the Green Wave as Gavin Zane looks to get another inning under his belt as the first pitch to the sophomore Caladros is a strike, 0-1. This broadcast is brought to you in part by DJK Roofing, South Jersey's #1 roofing supplier with over 200 5-star reviews on the web. Get a free quote today by calling Carmine Rampolla at 856-778-3900. Again, that's 856-778-3900. 3900. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Caladros. Struck out looking. His first time was the lone strikeout of Ruggieri's short outing this afternoon. And there's a ball, 2-1. Two and 2 to Caladros. Gavin Zane ready. Winds up and the delivery. Popped up, straightaway right. Going over for it is Gage Myers, and he makes the catch, 1 down. Brings up Charlie Copsetta, grounded out into an unusual 4-3-6 double play. His first time. Upstairs, 1-0 to Copsetta. Remember, folks, Audubon plays Paulsboro tomorrow at 3:45 in Paulsboro. On Wednesday, we have a DWB showcase between the Maple Shade Wildcats and the Pittman Panthers. On Thursday is Audubon at Haddonfield in Audubon. Friday is Camden Catholic and Cherry Hill West. And then Saturday is Audubon and Shawnee in Medford. 2 balls, no strikes. I was very surprised that Cherry Hill West knocked off Shawnee in the first round of the Diamond Classic. I was very surprised by that. They will now play Buna in that quarterfinal game. Although, considering the difference in size, the Diamond Classic is kind of like South Jersey's unofficial, official South Jersey Championship. There's a lot of bragging rights, there's a lot of power points to go into it, but because it's not a state playoff, it's not officially state sanctioned as the be-all, end-all championship. And the reason why that is because you have to realize with the state playoffs that the reason why there's 6 different state champions at the end of the year is because it would have to be divided up by school size or else it wouldn't be fair, especially in a team sport. Fly ball to straightaway center. Gardzalik misread it at first. I don't think he saw it in his first second, but he makes the catch and there's 2 down. He kind of just stalled in center field and eventually came back and made the play. So there's 2 down. This brings up Tyler Wiltsey for a 3rd go-around. So back to the top of the order, 2 singles for Wiltsey this afternoon. He has scored both times. Breaking ball right down Broadway, and it's 0-1. But yeah, you need to have a Group 1 champion, a Group 2 champ, a Group 3 and 4 champion, because otherwise it would be unfair to put a Group 4 school against a Group 1 school. Here's a fly ball right center field on the run, and diving to make the catch is going to be Gage Myers, and he lays out to make the diving catch, and 3 straight flyouts for the Green Wave retired the side in order in the top of the 3rd. We go to the bottom half, 6-0 Green Wave. Back here in the bottom of the third, first pitch is a swing and a miss for Gloucester as Scott Lynch continues to wheel and deal. Struck out 3 in a row to end the second, and a foul ball wavered out towards the first base side. Audubon was retired 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning, as Aiden Daly gets his first appearance. Just one lone base runner for Gloucester so far in this one. The junior Daly grounds one out to second, picked up by Dempsey, and the throw to first is in time, picked by Slavin, and there's one away. So here is Gage Myers, the right fielder. 5'10" senior, batting .333, 3 for 9 in his senior campaign. Had a 2-hit performance in the 21-3 win over Maple Shade, as that one is inside 1-0. In the dirt, a bit of a cricket pitch there. It's 2-0. So just one base runner, no hits yet for the Lions, as Scott Lynch, through 2 1/3, has recorded himself 3 strikeouts and again a lone walk to Gavin Wiener and a swing and a miss. 2-1. I mean, Scott Lynch has really done himself great after that performance versus Haddon Township. Game that went full 9 innings. Here's a ground ball to Wiltsey. Throw across the diamond. It's in time, and there's 2 down. Lynch doing what he does best, inducing ground balls and getting hitters out efficiently without raising the pitch count to an egregious amount. And this will bring us back to the top of the order with Jake Siebert. So here is Siebert. Siebert again batting .250 on the young campaign. Although not really a young campaign, because we're already more than halfway through the season. But it's just, yeah, I really can't believe that there's only a week and a half left in the regular season. It feels like this season has just flown by, and we've done more work than usual. Not less, more work than usual. Doing all these feature games and tournaments and everything like that. We've done more games than we would usually ever do, but it just feels like the season's going so much faster. Lynch records K number 4, and he is wheeling and dealing through 3. We go to the top of the 4th, 6-0 Green Wave. Here in the top of the 4th, it's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, which MLB team is considered the oldest, being founded in 1869? Is it the Phillies, the Yankees, the Red Sox, or the Reds? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ryan Zimmer leading off the fourth for the Green Wave, up by 6, and the first pitch is inside 1-0. Doing all these trivia questions makes me think of how many broadcasts I've done this year, and I think that was like my 27th question or something, because I label every file when I create it. And I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Am I going to run out of questions? Am I going to run out of creativity? Am I going to like recycle some from last year? I don't know, but baseball is a game that's 150 years old and then some, so really can't run out of stuff to talk about.
You never run out of stuff to talk about, so I'm pretty sure you'll be fine.
Well, that's a given on any day. It's 2-1 to Zimmer. Two-1. Line drive, smokes the center, and that's a base hit for Zimmer, falling in front of Gardzilek. And that's the 8th hit collected by a green and gold player this afternoon, bringing up Scott Lynch. Outside, 1-0. Throw over, nothing going on. Runner on first for the Green Wave, 1 down. Fly ball popped up out to second and taken in by Wiener. 1 down. And now it'll be Charlie Grady. He has walked both times, came around to score once, and a piece of a tree branch just fell on my scorebook. A little twig. Here's the first pitch to Charlie Grady. Upstairs, a little bit inside, 1-0. Grady and then Trent Bennell after this one. Fouled back off the end of the barrel, and it's 1-1. The 1-1. That one's a foul ball. One-two pitch. Grady smokes one to center field. That one is going to be over the head of Gardzilek. Going to third is Zimmer. He will get in there with ease, and Grady gets down to second base. 1 out double for the senior, and that puts 2 runners in scoring position for Trent Bennell. See, this feels more like the team of last year than
Yeah.
the team of this year. You pounce on them early, you lay back for a couple of innings, and then you drive in the hammer in the middle innings. That was something that Audubon did almost too well last year. And what I said about last year was that Audubon did not have a strong enough schedule to compete in the playoffs when it mattered. And that's why they lost to Woodstown. Partially why they lost to Woodstown. There are several other factors. But one of the things you've got to realize is that when you're not playing Group 2, Group 3 schools, when you are not intentionally challenging yourself to play schools that are larger than yours, and get your foot in the door as much as possible. That 7-6 win over Kingsway is one of the biggest upsets that Audubon has seen in years. Years, I tell you, years. Ooh. That's a ball. Looked like a strike on my end, but I don't make the calls. It's 1-1. Ground ball, that's a fair ball, and it's going to trickle in the right field for a base hit. Myers boots it. Coming around is Zimmer. Grady scores, and a 2-run single off the bat of Trent Bannell. He drives in another, and it is 8-0 Green Wave. So they scored 5 in the first, a second in the sixth, or rather another run in the sixth. That would make it, second, excuse me, in the, that made it a 6-0 game, and then 2 more here in the fourth, as the Green Wave continue to put on a beatdown. 10 hits through 3 1/3. Gavin Zane trying to hold down the fort. Here's a first pitch ground ball. Wiener takes a bad hop, throw to second for 1 on the first, is offline. So a fielder's choice. Bannell is retired. Dempsey gets in there safely, and there's 2 down. Bringing up Joey Slavin. He doubled, but was retired to end the first after he did not get back to second base in time, and he struck out looking to end the second. So inadvertently, he has ended both the first and the second innings. Oh, 1 to Slavin. Ground ball out to Wiener, picked up, throw to first is in time, and Slavin has now retired 3 of the last 4 innings, and he will be the bookends in this one. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Green Wave plate 2 more, 8-0 Audubon. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Gloucester. Scott Lynch still wheeling and dealing as he enters his 4th inning of work. Today's question is, which MLB team is considered the oldest, being founded in 1869? Is it the Phillies, Yankees, Red Sox, or Reds? What is your answer? What do you think it is?
I think it's the Red Sox.
Okay, well, let's reveal the answer. And that would be incorrect. You had the red part right, but it was the Cincinnati Reds. They were the first team founded that still exists in Major League Baseball, founded 153 or 4 years ago, back in 1869. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here to the leadoff man for Gloucester, Chris Ruggieri. He started the ball game on the mound, but only got through 1 inning and popped out to the first baseman his first time at the dish. 2-2. That one almost grazed his helmet, and it's a full count. If you put a match up there, it would catch on fire. Full count. 8 runs on 10 hits for Audubon, no runs on 0 hits, and 1 error for Gloucester. Scott Lynch with the payoff to Ruggieri is a ground ball foul off towards the chain link fence. When we went to Cincinnati for the first time, it was in 2019, and that was during the 150th anniversary, so they were wearing the patches, and they were also honoring their team's history by wearing a whole bunch of throwback uniforms from all the way back in the 1800s to like the 70s uniforms and everything in between. A ground ball to Caladros, throw to first, was in time, 1 away. They weren't wearing anything special for the 2 games that we went to Cincinnati, but I remember that they were wearing not just the 150th anniversary MLB patch, but they were also wearing their own patch for 150 years of the Reds, not just of Major League Baseball.
Any animal that you can think of, Joanne. What do you want to?
That's downstairs. But Major League Baseball, as we know it today, was a far cry, almost 180 degrees different than how it was in 1869, 154 years ago. There were 3 different leagues. There was the American Association, the American League, and the National League. But actually, the National League wasn't even, the American League wasn't even founded until 1901, which replaced the American Association. Now, the AA, the American Association of Baseball, still exists today, but it's an independent league that mostly operates out of the Midwest. There's a foul ball. It's going to be 2-2. And you know the Atlantic League, they have teams in Pennsylvania, they have teams in Jersey, they got the Long Island Ducks, the York Patriots, I think they have a team in Somerset somewhere, but that's going to be a strikeout for Lynch. 2 down. This brings up Gavin Wiener. He walked his first time, the only base runner for Audubon, for Gloucester so far. But when the American League took over for the American Association in 1901, that's when the idea came around to have a World Series, or a battle between the best team in the American League and the best team in the National League, and that idea came to fruition 2 years later in 1903. And that's when we had our first World Series between the Boston Americans and the Pittsburgh Pirates, which Pittsburgh ended up winning. But like I said, the American League and National League up until the 70s used to be completely separate organizations that worked under one umbrella. But here's a ground ball out to Wiltsey, and he boots it. So we'll see what they score that as, but I would personally score it an E6. No, they are going to score that a hit for Gloucester. So a single for Wiener, and I definitely thought that that was an error, but that will break up what would have been a no-hit bid. I mean, that's one of those plays that may be a bit controversial to the scorekeepers, considering that if you wanted to preserve Scott Lynch's no-hit bid, you'd probably want that to be scored an error so that it still has a goose egg on the scoreboard. But there was a bit of a discrepancy about that versus Buna on Saturday. Audubon had 1 hit, but it was on a ball that could have been scored an error or a single, could have gone either way. So It's a tough call in those kind of situations because the scorer's decision would be the tiebreaker between whether it's a hit or an error, and something that important. Lynch falls down, tries to make a throw, and the throw gets away. Going to third will be Wiener, going down to second, and the throw, that's going to sail in the left field. Stop throwing the ball around. That's going to give Gloucester a run. It's 8-1. Oh my goodness. That was a bad play from start to finish. The ball hit off of Lynch's glove. He bobbled it around a couple of times like he was kneading a pizza dough, and then he overthrew the first baseman, and then the first baseman overthrew the shortstop, and it went in the left field and gave Gloucester a run. So, runners on second and third. Excuse me, just a runner on second. My goodness, how do you even score that one? See, they scored that as a hit, but didn't score an error for Audubon, so I don't know.
That might not be the official score.
It's probably not. Oh, they did just put an error up for Audubon, and they put up 2 actually. Yeah, that would be a 2-error play, so that's the correct call. And because it would technically be an infield single, that one skips away. Going to third will be McCormick on the wild pitch, and it's 1 out. See, the thing that I was talking about with how the no-hitter could have been decided by a scoring decision, that certainly took it out because that would have been scored an infield single followed by an E1 because Lynch overthrew the first baseman after the runner passed first, and it's an E3 because he overthrew the second baseman. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Audubon has a bit of a defensive blunder. They have 2 errors and allow their first hit of the game and their first run. We go to the 5th, 8-1 Green Wave. Top of the 5th, Nick Caladros leads off the inning as Gavin Zane gives up 2 more runs, but still keeping it calm, cool, and collected as the first pitch is a line shot foul. Oh, 1. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Janara Furness, Rodan and Fields, independent consultant. Check out our Facebook page for more information, deals, and sales. The 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1. Gloucester put up their first run in the bottom half of the 4th thanks to 2 consecutive errors by the Green Wave on 1 play. And there's a strike. 1-2. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Green Wave. Caladros, followed by Copsetta, and followed by Tyler Wiltsey, who is 2 for 3 this afternoon. Caladros 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout in his 2 plate appearances so far. And there's a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Zane, and they'll throw it around the infield again. 1 down. Second strikeout for Gavin Zane, and Charlie Copsetta, with nobody on, will look to be the first to reach in this inning. Upstairs, 1-0. That one's a rocket. Deep to right center field, and it is going to be off the wall on a hop. Copsetta rips one. He's going to go to third. He can fly. He is going to slide into third, face first, with a 1-out triple into the gap. Considering that Copsetta in the winter inter squad hit a solo homer, I thought that that had a chance to maybe get out with the wind carrying a little, but a 3-bagger will still do the trick, as Charlie gets 3 bases to bring up Tyler Wiltse. As far as I'm concerned, the Green Wave don't have many triples this year, a lot of singles and doubles. That might be one of the first ones I've seen here in 23.
I think there was only like one other one.
That I can recall, yeah. 0-1. Audubon with 8 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. Gloucester with 1 run on 2 hits and an error for themselves. Downstairs, 1-1. There's a bullet out to left. Jankowski is going to let that one fall, and it's going to be an RBI single driving in Copsetta, and it's 9-1. So Wiltse with his 3rd hit of the afternoon, and Ryan Zimmer will now look to push the needle a little further. Smells like a barbecue out here.
Yeah, somebody's cooking something.
Yeah, whatever they're having, I want. I know there's a really good place in Paulsboro, which is where we'll be tomorrow, Grill Billy's. I'm going to have to introduce you to that place.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the time of year for barbecues and cookouts and everything like that, and baseball season. Baseball and burgers. Can't get much better than that. 1-0 count to Zimmer, who is 2 for 3, a pop out and 2 singles to boot to here today. 1-0 pitch. Wiltse's going. Throw to second is high and offline. Another swiped bag for Wiltse. He's got so many stolen bases, you'd think he'd be a felon by now. It's 2-0.
That was good, man. Keep your day job, though.
Come on.
It's actually your afternoon job, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, mostly an afternoon job, but it's still during the day. That one's outside, 3-0. Zimmer takes one at the letters, and it's 3-1. I saw one the other day that said, what's the toughest instrument to take from an orchestra? A bass.
Oh.
There's a foul ball, right field side. There was this old meme from like 5 or 6 years ago of Yadier Molina trying to steal a base, and like, stolen base, and they photoshopped an actual base, like he's carrying a base, and it looks like he's running away with it. Our sense of humor, man, so wonky. The payoff from Zane is a line drive foul. That one's into the warehouse, or whatever that is down the first base line. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's a building with almost no letters on it, and I can't see the front of it, but it's got a whole bunch of bags of something. It's like maybe bags of like mulch or something like that. I do not know what that is down there.
I don't either.
I've just always seen the back of it, not the front of it. 3-2, Zimmer taps one back to Zane, hits off of his glove. Throw over is gonna be in time. So a tough play, and that's technically gonna be scored as a 1-6-3 because that hit off of Zane's glove. And this will bring up Scott Lynch. Wiltsey remains on second with 2 down, bringing up Lynch.
What is the map? It's the back of a
I'm a faithful follower.
Here's a line drive into center field. That one's going to drop in front of Gardzalik. Wiltsey's coming around. It's cut off. Throw to the plate is going to be offline, and Wiltsey scores. Going to second is Lynch, and the throw not in time. 10-1. Double digits for Audubon. And an RBI single by Lynch brings it to 10-1.
Saw that advice you gave him. Yeah, I feel like that was really helpful last week. I did. I'm serious, but she said she was serious. He knew I was serious.
So here's Charlie Grady. Jason Stockland running at second for Lynch, who probably means that he would still pitch the 5th here. So you said that building over to our at our 10 o'clock. At the 10 o'clock is what?
the back of a car wash and an executive computer and mailing services company.
So the back of a car wash and an executive mailing services company?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what it said.
Huh.
That long one there is the executive computer mailing and mailing services.
And then this one over here is the car wash, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
They may not be that today, but that's what the map says.
Yeah, the map says that it's a executive, services. I don't know what in the world they'd have all back there that would mean executive mailing, but there's a swing and a miss, 1-on-1. I mean, that looks like, it just looks like bags of mulch or sand that they would put on top of the Little League fields to keep them dry.
It doesn't even have King of Pizza on there, so...
It might be completely outdated.
Yeah, it might not be accurate.
At the end of the inning, I might ask one of the Gloucester faithful if they have any idea what it could be. Or is it just another ambiguous building? It's 1 and 2. To Zimmer, runner on second for the Green Wave, and a 10-1 lead. "13 hits for Audubon today. Outside, 2-2. After this would be Trent Bannell if the inning continues, who has reached base all 3 times, but so has Charlie Grady. 2 walks and a single for Charlie this afternoon. Looks to tack on another. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Grady watches it go by, and he'll walk back to the dugout to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Green Wave add another to the board, 10-1. Bottom of the 5th inning, Green Wave lead by 9 over the Gloucester City Lions. It's been a good one for Audubon here today. 13 hits and just 2 hits allowed by Scott Lynch. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Pearlie's Printing and Bantle's Banners, Signs, and Apparel, the true one-stop shop for all your print and promotion needs with a 5-star Google rating. If you need graduation lawn signs and banners, flyers, A-frames, business cards, or envelopes done right, this is the place for you. Upstairs, and it's going to be 2-1 to John Daly, who struck out looking his first time. Outside. 3-1. Lynch with a half dozen strikeouts this afternoon, a total of 6 on the day. And a ground ball out to Wiltsey. Picks this one up on the run. Throw to first on the nice play. Off balance throw. And Tyler Wiltsey continues to flash the leather. There's one down. So here is Aiden Daly. Followed by Gage Myers for Gloucester. Up and in, Daly backs down a little bit. It's 1-0. Taking a look at the JV game over there, looks like Audubon is batting. They've got the bases loaded, so that means they're doing something right. It's 1-1. I thought that one might have clipped the zone, but it did not. There's a strike, 2-2. Lynch looking for strikeout number 7, but time is called. Looks like we've got a photographer down there. Don't recognize him.
Could just be a parent.
Well, Daly got hit by the pitch, and he's going to get the first base here for Gage Myers. 1 down, runner on first for Myers. He grounded out to short his first time. We're going to have a pinch runner. Taking over duties down there at first is going to be number 4, which on my list is Jason Baker. Strike 1. Popped up right field side. Bannell going over. He can't get there, and it's a foul ball. Tough play. Bannell just couldn't reach over in time. A tad bit too quick, and it's 0-2. Still 0-2 to Myers, right down Broadway, and Myers is retired. 7 strikeouts for Scott, and this will bring up Siebert back to the top of the order. With 2 down, Siebert batting for the 3rd time today, grounded out and struck out in his 2 appearances. The 2 men to get hits today is Wiener and McCormick, which are batting 4 and 5 in the order. Nobody else has touched the baseball enough to get it on the ground and get on first base for anything other than a walk or a hit by pitch or an error. Breaking ball catches the zone. Lynch has been using that breaking ball more often than I'm used to. Maybe I'm just not observant enough, but it seems like he's using that more than the traditional fastball, which can hit 86 to 88 miles an hour. But there's another one right there, and wow. That one was about 6 to 9 inches off the plate, but he called it, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Whoa, Lynch falls off the mound. He's going to throw down to second base, and it's going to be offline. Stolen base for Baker. That's a scary situation. You saw that happen to Tim Lincecum a couple times when he was with the Giants. He had this bad habit because of how his foot was adjusted in the windup. He was prone to falling off the mound, and sometimes you take one bad fall and it hurts you. You know, blow out your knee, tear something. You don't want that to happen. That one's going to shoot in the left field, a base hit. Coming around and holding it third is going to be Baker. So a 2-out single off the bat of Siebert. And runners are on the corners for the Lions here for Ruggieri. So Ruggieri 0 for 2. I thought that was a spider that was on my clipboard, and then it got up and flew away, so it wasn't a spider. Rules that out. Might have been a...
If spiders start flying, that would be my definition of a healthy.
That's funny. I think it was like a black ladybug or something like that. I don't know if those even exist, but fouled back. Two-strike count to Ruggieri. 2 outs, runners on the corners for Gloucester. After this would be Russell Medler if the inning continues. 0-2. Ruggieri trying to break the offer. Bryce Dempsey warming up in the Green Wave bullpen down the third base line. The pitch. Up and in. Lynch back at it. And the 1-2. Fly ball foul towards the roofing supply building. I'm told that is that was a building supply.
It is.
Place.
And if you go, I went on the map and looked at the front. There's even a sign up front. I've just never noticed it.
I've never noticed it
when
either.
We've driven by.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't normally look for building supplies.
When you're driving. Unless you're going there, but a whole lot of shingles and stuff down there. Breaking ball chopped out to Wiltsey, picked up, throw to first. A beautiful stretch by Lynch and by Slavin, but he got pulled off the bag. So that will drive home a run for Gloucester, making it 10-2. Even the first base coach knew that he was off the bag, and the umpire took a couple seconds, but in my opinion made the right call. Runners on first and second, following the single by Ruggieri. That one skips in the dirt. Everybody holds. They just put an error on the board for Audubon, so they're going to call it an E6. Zimmer had to go back to the dugout for something. I don't know. He had to pop back into the dugout and get back into the field of play. I wonder if he just replaced his glove. Something must have happened there, because I didn't catch it, but he went back into the dugout and grabbed something. I don't know what it could have been, but... .3-0. Downstairs, and a 4-pitch walk loads the bases for Gloucester. You'd have to imagine that, yeah, Wade Geis is going to come out here to talk to Lynch. His day is not done yet, but they're going to go over some calming strategies here. In a 10-2 game, Gloucester only has 2 hits on the board, but You would think if you were the home team, you'd want to give Wiltsey the benefit of the doubt and give yourselves a hit instead of an error on that play. That would help your stat lines, but they called it an error. I had it on my scorebook as a base hit. So a walk to Medler, bringing up Wiener. Bases are loaded. Strike one. After Wiener will be Seth McCormick if the inning continues. Did not go around 1-1. No, they did call it a strike. Sorry, 0-2. 2 outs, 2 strikes, bases loaded. Lynch looking to get out of the jam after the pitching mound visit. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Lynch records his 8th strikeout, and Gloucester just threw away their best chance to score yet in this one. We go to the 6th, 10-2. Green Wave still lead by a comfortable margin of 8. Top of the 6th, Audubon with a comfortable margin of 8 runs over the Gloucester City Lions, although they haven't been able to break through with 2 more to get in mercy rule territory. But Trent Bannell is the first to bat and takes it upstairs to lead off the 6th. 10-2 current score and a 1-0 count.
Well, you were right there with us.
5, 6, and 7 due up for the Green Wave. By the way, a pitching change for the Gloucester Lions. This is a Pearlie's printing pitching change. Kevin Wall, the junior right-hander, he is on the mound for Gloucester. The 3rd righty that they've thrown out there, along with Ruggieri and Gavin Zane. 2-0. Oh, and that's going to be a plunker. No, okay. I thought that hit him, but from 350 feet away, hard to tell. There's a strike. 3-1 to Trent Bannell. Bantle, Dempsey, and Slavin due up for Audubon. And that is a walk. Bannell gets a free pass. outside, 1-0. And the Gloucester infield will meet with Wall. There's a ball. And Trent Bannell just moved up to second. I think they called a balk, I think they called a balk on Wall. That was interesting. So now runner is on second. There's a ball. This is the part of the game where things get a little bit more out of hand, and as the bullpens get thinner, more walks are issued and there's less control on the mound. Not necessarily any one person's fault. It's just the greatest example of this was in the Deptford Audubon scrimmage from back in March. We had to tape delay innings 5 and 6 because we had run out of battery power. So it just was walk after walk after walk. It was just bad baseball. Can't really put it any differently. But oh boy, 3-1 to Jack Dempsey. He was at the dish here. And speaking of, there's another walk. So Dempsey takes first base. This brings up Joey Slavin. Back-to-back walks to start the 6th for Gloucester.
Yeah, I gotta go to yoga. You wanna go? Going to yoga.
Oh, yes,
I want to go to yoga.
I want to go to goat yoga.
Goat yoga? What's goat yoga?
With baby, you do yoga with baby goats.
What in the world? Goat? Okay.
Yeah, they like climb on your back and stuff.
Why would I want to do yoga with a farm
I
animal?
didn't say you did. I said I did because I love animals.
Okay, why would you want to do yoga with a farm animal?
Well, I'm not really going to do yoga. I'm just going to sit there and play with the animals.
First pitch, Slavin.
I'd rather play with the dog than do the downward dog.
Here's a strike, 1-1. I just remember one time during the, or before the Audubon Glassboro was a playoff match in soccer last year, and it was one that Glassboro won thanks to penalty kicks. And before the ball game, Trent Bennell was actually sitting in the thick of the woods behind Glassboro High School with noise-canceling headphones on, meditating before the game. And he had never done it before, but he wanted to get in the zone, and he only allowed one goal during the regular portion of the game. And unfortunately, Audubon lost in overtime, but just the mindset was so important to him that he was willing to just zone out before the game. It was really interesting watching him work. Slavin, foul. That murdered a tree.
A lot of these sports, there's a lot of minding to go on.
We talked about it with Nick Caladros. He was talking about how his confidence may make him look cocky, but it's just literally the way he works.
Right.
He's not doing it to be cocky, he's doing it to give himself confidence.
Right.
There is a line between cockiness and confidence. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Joey Slavin, and that one is behind the batter. Going to third, Bannell's in there standing, and going to second is Dempsey standing. Three balls, 2 strikes. Full count to Joey. Runners on second and third for Audubon. They need 2 more to push this game into mercy rule territory. Upstairs. And Joey Slavin will reach base for the second time today with a free pass. And the infield is again going to meet with Kevin Wall. And Coach Galbraith will come out as well. I didn't see any action in the Gloucester bullpen, so I don't know what they would do in that situation, but we are going to have a pitching change, though. Wall is out, and going into the game, can't tell who that is, but oh boy, that was very close to a sneeze. Very close to an on-air sneeze. We'll go to break, and we'll figure out the mystery pitcher right after this. Aiden Daly now on the mound for Gloucester as 3 straight walks for Kevin Wall forced him out of the game early. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for Nick Caladros, the number 8 man in the order, as the attendance has dipped a little bit here in the 6th here at Jim Kelly Field. 1-0 to Caladros. Foul ball first base side. There's a fly ball turning around and right and making the catch, coming to the plate and scoring is Banel. The throw sails a little bit, and it's 11-2. Runners on first and third after the sac fly. Bringing up Charlie Copsetta. There's a strike, 0-1. Fly ball popped up foul. One out and an 0-2 count to Copsetta. Playing a little bit of damage control here for Aiden Daly. Outside. John Daly getting out of the stretch. Although I do realize this is a brother-to-brother battery between John Daly behind the plate and Aiden Daly on the mound. Upstairs again, 2-2.
Nice.
2-2. Fouled back. If the Green Wave don't manage to score here, then we would be guaranteed to play the full 7 in an 11-2 game. But the Green Wave could cut it an inning short if they score here and then hold Gloucester scoreless in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah.
2-2. I mean, this game was moving pretty quickly, starting around 4 o'clock, but now we're almost 2 hours into this one, about to hit 6 o'clock p.m. Capseta fooled by a off-speed changeup, and there's 2 down. First strikeout for Aiden Daly. This brings up Tyler Wiltsey. Up for the 5th time today. 3 singles and a fly out to right. It's really all he's had, but 3 for 4 is still very good, especially after the Ophir versus Buna, getting back into the swing of things, literally. 1-0. Here's a ball. 2-0. Runners on first and third with 2 down. That one's upstairs, 3-0. Wiltsey looking for a green light here with the runners on the corners, and as we said, if the Green Wave don't score here, then we'd play a full 7 guaranteed. The 3-0 pitch, and Wiltsey takes that one upstairs and in, so he gets a 4-pitch walk, gets a free pass without having to lift the bat off his shoulders, and the bases are loaded now for Ryan Zimmer.
Technically, if it was 12-2,
Yes.
we could shorten it to the end of 6 if they didn't score 10 runs.
What do you mean by that?
The home team has the opportunity to score 10 runs and tie it
Yes.
and go to the next inning.
Well, no, that's not what the rule is.
Okay.
If Audubon gets 1 run here, Gloucester would have to at least match that to move on to the 7th. So if it was 12-2, then Gloucester would have to score at least 1, 12-3, to make it a 9-run deficit or less. To send it into the 7th inning in this kind of scenario does not mean that you have to score 10 runs. It means
Okay.
that you have to keep it within a 9-run deficit.
Yeah.
So if Gloucester scores 10 runs, then oh well. But if Audubon scores 1 here, they would only have to match that or better to move on to the 7th. But with Zimmer down 0-2 and the bases loaded, a lot of uncertainty in the air. Zimmer lofts one out to right center field, and that will be taken in by Gage Myers in right. So we will play a full 7 today. Audubon leads by 9 going to the bottom of the 6th. bottom of the 6th inning, guaranteed to play a full 7 today after the Green Wave could not push across the 12th run of the game. Paroli's printing pitching change. Bryce Dempsey in for Scott Lynch after 5 strong innings where he struck out 8, only allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, but 3 errors for Audubon on the scoreboard out and right, and a swing and a miss is how we start the bottom half of the 6th. To Seth McCormick, 5, 6, and 7 due up for Gloucester. Downstairs, and 1. Oh, that's going to be a plunker. Hit him right in the hip.
Felt that one from here.
Yeah, but hold up now. Wait a second. No, I thought it hit him, but I guess it didn't. I guess he just moved out of the way, too.
I'll check the replay.
Yeah, check that. It's 2-1. Here's a ground ball base hit in the left. So a base hit for McCormick to start the 6th, and this brings up Cody Gardzalik, center fielder. Gardzalik 0 for 2 with both strikeouts looking.
Can't watch it on the replay because that was one of our hiccups.
Ah,
Darn it.
oh well. 1-0.
Must
Yeah.
not have hit him though, because you know the batter would have protested it.
Yeah. Or at the very least would have gotten the umpire to call that. Gardzalik takes downstairs. Oh, and that for sure is a hit by him. No doubt about that one. 2 runners aboard now for Gloucester. So a single and a hit by pitch put 2 runners aboard, as Bryce Dempsey needs to work out of the jam here versus John Daly. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a grounder. After the pitching change, Joey Slavin moves from the first base side to the dugout as he will be in the DH spot for the remainder of the game, and Scott Lynch moves over to first base after being relieved. Pitch, fly ball, out to center. Copsetta going over, and he makes the catch. 1 down. Copsetta took the right step that time, and he makes the catch. I'm telling you, they got to get
Smaller hats.
They have to get tighter fitting hats. They even fall off my head from time to time.
I think it's a contest though.
Yeah.
For the outfielders to see how many times they can lose their head.
Well, Copsetta's got like one of those afros that you would see from like Earth, Wind, and Fire in the 1970s. So you can't really hold that down unless you use like a pound of hair gel.
No, we got a couple good flowing locks on our guys today.
Yeah, I mean Zach Beebe's hair is not that long, but his always falls off. He's still recovering from his concussion though, so he'll probably be able to come back for the playoffs, I would guess.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd come back to playoffs because he's a senior. Right?
He's a senior. It'll be his last shot, and you don't want him to be out like that for that long. But you'd rather miss the time and get the proper recovery than risk another concussion. But it's 1 and 2. Like the whole thing, from what I heard, Beebe had a concussion at least once before in football as well, and sloshing around your brain like that is not good.
No, especially when you fall back in your chair while you're working for DWB Broadcasting.
Yeah, that was in Bordentown, yeah. Gust of wind knocked you over.
Yep.
2 and 2. I mean, you've really sacrificed a lot for our brand. Down at Little League, broke your back thanks to a pole. You're the grounder, throw to second, and that's gonna be a 5-4-3 double play around the horn. Caladros to Dempsey to Lynch. Side is retired. We got 1 more to play here in Gloucester at the Jim Kelly Field. 11-2 Audubon. Top of the 7th inning here from Jim Kelly Field in Gloucester. Audubon leads 11-2. As it's been an interesting one, Green Wave put up 5 in the first inning and had 9 men come to the plate, and then scored another in the second, but then was scoreless in the third, brought home another in the fourth, brought home a couple more in the fifth and sixth, and it's just been a gradual progression from there as Scott Lynch takes the first pitch high and inside, 1-0. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Green Wave: Lynch, Grady, and Trent Bannell. Grounder up the middle, base hit. Lynch puts one up, and that's going to be hit number 14 for the Green Wave this afternoon, as Charlie Grady adds still another here at the plate. Runner on first, nobody out here for the Green Wave. A 1 count. JV game is done. They are headed over back to the dugouts to cram it a little further. That's a bad swing and a miss, but it's going to give Audubon a free base as Lynch goes down to second. By the way, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman. If you need anything done, no matter how big or small, give Doug Does Anything a call at 856-412-0118. Again, that's 856-412-0118. 0-2. Swinging a... Nope, didn't go. 1-2. A little bit of wind picking up, blowing inward from left center field where we are standing. Oh, they actually said that he went around. Sorry. I was like, well, what's the delay for? But no, they said he went around. So Grady strikes out, and this is Trent Bannell now as he takes it upstairs. 1-0. First strikeout for Aiden Daly. Excuse me, no, that's the second strikeout so far. Line drive, center field, that's going to be a base hit. Lynch is going to hold it third. They're going to rocket the throw to the plate, but it is not going to solicit the runner coming home from third. So runners are going to be on the corners here with 1 down, as Bannell laces another single, and this is going to bring up Jack Dempsey. Make that a total of 15 hits for Audubon today. Really not going to cover off the ball. Just a couple of extra base hits, really no more than I can count on one hand, that's for sure. 1 triple by Charlie Copsetta, no homers. But this team has been able to prove that they don't need the long ball to be successful. As we said earlier in the broadcast, Audubon had 14 home runs at the end of the 2022 season, which was second in the Colonial Conference, tied with Paulsboro, and second to West Deptford, who had 19 homers. Now Audubon only has 1 home run in the month of April and through the first week of May. So they don't need to hit, bombs out to center field to make an impact. They've just needed the singles, the walks, the doubles, the triples. They've just needed to put the ball in play. It doesn't matter where. There's a strike. Should be 2-2. Or excuse me, 2-1 rather. Fly ball, popped up, shallow right. Wiener drops the ball. Wiener couldn't hang on to it, and that's going to load the bases. So Wiener drops it, and that's going to be the second error of the day by Gloucester as the bases are loaded. And this brings up Joey Slavin for his 5th time around. One zero. Yeah, Wiener just got out there and tried hanging on to it, but he's too far gone for him. 1-1. Slavin with the bases loaded. Saw the curveball and his eyes lit up, but instead it's a ball in the dirt, and it's 1-2 after the swing and miss. Outside. 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes to Joey Slavin. Gloucester trying to avoid going down 10, but Slavin laces it into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. Gardzilek picks it up, and that's going to be an RBI single, moving the needle. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I need to slow down. Moving the needle a little bit more for Audubon. 12-2. It's like a word salad. Bases are loaded. For Caladros. Oh, 1 to Caladros. There's a fly ball out to right, and that one is going to drop. Everyone moves up 90 more feet, and it's 13-2, which is the same score that it was last year, just in 5 innings instead of 7. So 17 hits for Audubon. They continue to knock the cover off the ball, and here's Charlie Copsetta. But we know Rich Horan, he loves the stat pad. He will stop at nothing to get more runs for Audubon, no matter how the final score is. I mean, you look at the Sterling game, they beat them 20-1. The Gateway game last Thursday that I was under the weather, 22-4. Here's a ball, 1-0. Oh, goodness gracious, thank you. Copsetta, fly ball. Where is it? It's going to be an infield fly rule. Ruggieri comes down with it. 2 down. So Tyler Wiltsey looking to, I guess, stat pad a little bit more. This is his 6th at-bat of the game. And it's against 4 different pitchers for Gloucester. First pitch. Wiltsey rockets one on the first pitch. Deep left center field. That one's going to get down towards the temporary fence. It's going to bounce off of it. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And look at Tyler Wiltsey go. The throw to third, not in time. And it is a bases clearing triple for Tyler Wiltsey. Make that 16-2. Somebody put on the William Tell Overture. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Another 3 runs, 5 total in the 7th for the Green Wave as they have blown this game wide open. 16 runs on 18 hits. That's a good way to show that Audubon has not left a lot of runners on base. When the hit total is a lot higher than the run total, that means that Audubon has wasted a couple opportunities. But with those 16 on the board, there are no wasted opportunities here. It's 0-1 to Ryan Zimmer. Downstairs, Wiltsey holds. I'm sure if this was a close game, he might have gone for that, but in a 16-2 game, you don't try to steal home and get another run. Even Haran wouldn't do that. 16-2. And this is in a full 7-inning game as well. The Green Wave just blew the cap off. There's a bullet back up the middle. There's another base hit. Wiltsey will score, and an RBI single for Ryan Zimmer. Adds another 17-2. So here is Scott Lynch. What's the deal here? Oh, we're going to have a pinch hitter. No, pinch runner, excuse me. Gabe McCracken is running at first for Zimmer with 2 down. Want to make sure he gets his equipment on. I was wondering what the delay was, but now you have your answer. Lynch is up for the 2nd time this inning. The 10th batter of the 7th. Green Wave have scored 5 runs with 9 men at the plate. Now batter number 10 takes a ball away, 1-0. 19 hits in total. And with it being 17-2, Green Wave have had 6 hits in this inning alone. Really been mashing the baseball here. Lynch popped up, shallow, and oh wow, McCormick dropped the ball. He ran right through it. It's going to count as a foul ball, so just must have lost it in the sky or something, but just didn't see it. Should be a 2-strike count to Lynch. 1-2. And Daly's offering is upstairs, 2-2. Josh Nolan warming up in the bullpen for the Green Wave as Lynch grounds this one to short, and that is another bobbled baseball. I wonder where that might have hit him, because it looked like he was clutching at something maybe off of his jaw, but it might have just hit him in a bad spot. So that will be scored. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, they haven't updated it yet. Probably still deciding over that one. I would personally score a base hit, but we'll see what Gloucester's scorekeeping folks put down on the right field video board, as here is Charlie Grady with a line drive into center field. That's a base hit. Gardzalik is going to get cut off by Myers, and everybody holds up, so the bases are loaded.
Again.
And here is Trent Bennell. Grady was responsible for the first out of the inning, and they did score it as a base hit, but because the scoreboard in right only accounts for ones and in that place, they have to reset to 0 hits when they have 20 on the board. I guess they ran out of room. They got to restart at 20. 1-0. There's a strike. 0-2. That's gonna be a hit by pitch. The game was so out of hand I didn't even realize it until I saw it. But
18-2.
18-2. And now Galbraith will come out here to talk to his pitcher. So a hit by pitch for Bannell. And it was a 2-strike count too. We're trying to keep the ball moving here. I mean, this game has been going on for almost 2.5 hours, and we've had a couple games that have been under 2 hours this year in a full 7, like that Audubon Buna game with only 1 hour 51 minutes. And I don't even think that, I think that was just the length of the broadcast, not the actual game itself. I think it was shorter than that, but it was incredibly short. Here's a ground ball out to third. Ruggieri, throw to second base is in time, and the inning is over. Green Wave put up a solid 6 runs on the board. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 18-2. Here in the bottom of the 7th, 17-2 is what the scoreboard says. I'm not sure if my math is right or if their math is right. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but it doesn't make a huge difference at the end of the day. It's not Gloucester's day. 1-0 from Bryce Dempsey to Gage Myers as Green Wave put up a grand total of 10, 11, 12, 13 batters in the 7th. 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Lions as Myers, Siebert, and Ruggieri look to try to end this game on the highest note that they could possibly have in a 15-run game. But 1 and 2. Myers, hot shot. That's a fair ball, left field corner. Myers is going to go for 2, and he is going to stop there with a stand-up double. 3rd hit of the game for Gloucester. That's a leadoff 2-bagger. So here's Jake Siebert. He had a single in the 5th inning. Got all the way to third base, but did not score. Fly ball center, shallow. Copsetta with a bit of a interesting play, dipping down, and he did make the catch though, and there's one down. One out, and here is Ruggieri. He's up for the fourth time today. 0-1. Ruggieri smacks one to center, but Copsetta is there on a line, and there's 2 down. Gloucester down to their last out in a 15-run game. And here's Russell Medler. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. 17-2, Audubon leads Gloucester by 15. I would say your player of the game would be Tyler Wiltsey. I mean, 5 hits and 6 at-bats. And it's 0-2. Audubon plays Paulsboro tomorrow at 3:45 in Paulsboro. And they play Haddonfield at home on Thursday. Shawnee on Saturday. The 0-2. Ground ball out to short. Wiltsey is there. Throw over to first, and the ball game is over. Audubon takes down Gloucester handedly, and it is 17-2. The final in this one. Audubon wins by 15 over Gloucester. Last year's game was a little bit more pedestrian with a 13-2 win, as the fans will file out here, and so will we, as the Lions and the Green Wave shake hands, and Audubon will get on the bus and go home here after a 2.5-hour game on the money. 2 hours and 30 minutes, the final time of the game here, as Audubon really came out swinging today. 5 runs in the first inning, and they just kept piling it on and on and on, scoring 6 runs in the 7th inning to end the game. And Audubon really just never really held back, and they were able to attack all of Gloucester's pitchers effectively, and they were able to chase Ruggieri out of the game in the first inning. Really just a great performance today by Audubon after that 5-0 loss to Buna. They needed a bounce-back win, and that's exactly what they got this afternoon. Folks, a busy week for DWB ahead. Audubon and Paulsboro tomorrow at 3:45 in Paulsboro. On Wednesday will be Mapleshade and Pittman in a DWB showcase at Alcyon Park at 4 p.m. Thursday will be Audubon and Haddonfield in Audubon at 4 o'clock. That will be a very nice game between 2 Colonial Conference rivals. And on Friday will be a DWB showcase at Tom Trotman Field between the Camden Catholic Irish and the Cherry Hill West Lions. Saturday will be Audubon and Shawnee at 10 a.m. in Shawnee. Folks, this has been one heck of a game. 17-2, Audubon beats Gloucester pretty decisively. From everybody here at our DWB crew, my graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer, Donna Wilkins, and myself, Dan Wilkins. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow in Paul.